So my problem with a lot of Mexican wedding cookie recipes out there is that they are crazy sweet and sugar is the only note existing in the cookie. With these Mexican wedding cookies, you're going to have a perfect balance of flavor where the pecans actually stand out. You can taste that delicious shortbread cookie inside, and the powdered sugar finish is just the perfect little kiss of Christmas time. You'll add 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt to a small mixing bowl and whisk until combined. Set that aside and you're gonna move on to the butter. For this recipe, it's gonna be really important that your butter is at room temperature because we're gonna be creaming it with the sugar. My house is way too cold for butter to ever reach room temperature. So in order to get it just right, I pop it in the microwave and microwave at 10-second intervals. After 10 seconds, I'll come in and give the butter a 1/4 of a turn and microwave for about 10 seconds more. If the butter is cold right out of the fridge, this usually takes 2 turns at 10 seconds, and then I'll give it 1 more turn and hit it with 5 more seconds. Once you can make an indentation in the butter by gently poking it with your finger, it's at room temperature and it's ready to go in the bowl. So you'll add 1 cup of unsalted butter. That's important. Make sure your butter is unsalted. Add that to a large mixing bowl along with a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. You're gonna mix these 2 ingredients together on medium-high speed until the butter and the sugar look light and fluffy. Set yourself a timer and don't cheat. Once your butter and sugar are creamed, you're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and mix 1 more time. Now goes in the dry ingredients. Just mix this on low. And now we're gonna bring in the pecans. PSA for the pecan lovers, you are most definitely going to want to try our maple glazed pecan cookies and our cowboy cookies, one of my all-time favorite cookies for holiday gift giving. For this recipe, you're gonna use ground pecans, not chopped pecans. Ground pecans are a much finer consistency than chopped pecans, so make sure you don't try to sub in the 2. To get your pecans to ground status, you're going to need to bring in your food processor fitted with a blade attachment. Add in about 1 1/2 cup of pecan halves and pulse that until your pecans are a very fine consistency, just like this. Once your pecans are looking good, you'll add 1 cup of ground pecans to the batter and mix that on low until well combined. Now, this cookie dough isn't going to look like a super wet cookie dough, so you'll know your batter's ready as soon as you can clump it together in your hands. Now you're gonna scoop small tablespoon-sized mounds of cookie dough and place it on a baking sheet lined with either a silicone baking mat or parchment paper. Transfer the cookies to the oven and bake at 325 degrees for 15 to 17 minutes, just until the cookies are tinging a beautiful golden brown right around the edges. Now you're gonna set your cookies aside and you need to let them cool completely. If you try to add the powdered sugar while the cookies are still warm, your powdered sugar is just going to melt down and it won't be visible and it won't be as good. The powdered sugar is what makes these cookies so extra Christmassy. And if y'all are on the hunt for more amazing Christmas cookie recipes, be sure to check out our haystack cookies, our chewy ginger molasses cookies, and our classic thumbprint Hershey Kiss cookies. So now that your cookies have completely cooled, here's what you're gonna do. You'll add 1 1/2 cup of powdered sugar to a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and you're gonna add your cookies right in. And don't press the air out of the bag. It's actually easier if there is air in the bag when you're shaking up your cookies. So put the cookies in, seal the bag, and give them a really good shake until those cookies are totally and completely coated in the powdered sugar. Transfer your cookies to your favorite serving dish. We lined our cookie tin with some decorative tissue paper, added the cookies right in, and finished them off with some fresh juniper sprigs, or you could even use rosemary, just to give it a pretty little pop for presentation. And that's how you make perfect Mexican wedding cookies.